Carlos, you here with us today?
Oh my god, not the My Hero profile picture.
Hello, can you hear me? Don't excuse me, ma'am.
So Bella the Wolf, huh? The self-proclaimed queen of cringe. The internet's most hated YouTuber. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be doing this today, but here we are. Bella, I tried to avoid this, I really did, but you just keep popping up, and the internet keeps asking no, begging me to address this, so here we go. You ever wonder why people hate Bella so much? Like, it's not just the cringe content, it's not just the over-the-top reactions or the weird wolf persona, no, it's deeper than that. See, when you build your entire identity on a fake persona, when everything about you screams, I'm trying too hard, people see right through it. They can smell the desperation, and Bella, your whole online presence reeks of it.
You think this is a f***ing joke, huh? No. Stop this! My dad died to protect you!
But let's back it up for a second. Who is Bella the Wolf, really? From what we've all seen, Bella's this character she's created online, this over-exaggerated version of herself that's supposed to be relatable, or funny, or, I don't know, something. But it's not working, Bella. It's not landing the way you think it is. The audience can tell when someone's not being real, and you're not real. Every time you post a video, it's like watching someone put on a mask that doesn't fit. You're trying to be something you're not, and it's uncomfortable for everyone involved. The wolf ears, the howling, the forced energy, it's all just too much. And the worst part is, I don't even think you realize how persona that's supposed to be larger than life, but all it's doing is making you look smaller. Smaller because you're not being yourself. Smaller because you're trying so hard to be something that you're clearly not. And that's why people hate you, Bella. It's not because you're cringe, it's because you're fake. Look, I get it. You thought if you made enough noise, if you were loud enough, weird enough, different enough, people would pay attention. And they did for a while, but then they saw the cracks. They saw that behind all the theatrics, there wasn't much substance. And that's where you lost them. You know what's crazy? I'm not even mad at you. I'm more disappointed, honestly. Disappointed that you think this is the only way to get attention. Disappointed that you don't realize people would probably like you more if you just stopped. Stopped trying so hard. Stopped pretending to be something you're not. Stopped with the whole wolf act and just talked like a normal person. But nah, you can't do that, can you? Every time you post, it's like you're digging the hole deeper. You're trying to defend yourself, trying to clap back at the haters, but all it's doing is making things worse. The more you try to justify this weird wolf thing you've got going on, the more people tune out. It's like watching someone try to put out a fire with gasoline. It's just not working, Bella. And you know what? I think deep down you know it's not working. You know that this whole act you've built up around yourself is starting to crumble. But instead of changing, instead of adapting, you're doubling down. You're trying even harder to make this thing work, and it's just sad. Bella, let me tell you something real quick. People don't want perfection. They don't want this polished, over-the-top version of you that you've created. They want real. They want to see the flaws, the imperfections, the human side of you. But all you're giving them is a caricature, and that's why they're rejecting it. You ever notice how the more you try to defend yourself, the more hate you get? It's because people can tell when someone's not being authentic. You're out here putting on a show, and people don't want a show, Bella. They want to connect. They want to relate. And you're just not relatable. And it's not just the audience that sees through you, Bella, it's the entire internet. Every time you post, every time you try to clap back, it's like you're giving them more ammo. You're feeding the very people who are tearing you down, and you don't even realize it. Look, I know you think you're doing something here. I know you think this whole wolf persona is your ticket to fame, your way of standing out in a sea of creators. But it's not. It's just making you look desperate. And desperation? That's not a good look on anyone. You know what's funny? You probably could have had a solid fan base if you just dialed it back a bit. If you stopped trying so hard to be this exaggerated version of yourself and just relaxed. But instead, you went full throttle, and now here we are. The internet's turned on you, and you're stuck in this loop of trying to prove yourself to people who've already made up their minds. Bella, let me give you some advice. It's not too late to turn this around. You can still salvage this, but you've got to be willing to let go of the act. You've got to be willing to drop the wolf ears, stop with the howling, and just be yourself. Because right now, the only thing you're destroying is your own reputation. And trust me, I know that's not what you want. I know you don't want to be the internet's joke, the person everyone loves to hate. But the only way to change that is to stop feeding into it. Stop giving people more reasons to hate you. Start giving them reasons to see the real you, if there's still a real you left under all that. You ever think about what happens when the wolf act gets old? When people stop caring about the persona you've created, what's left then, Bella? What's left when the mask comes off and all that's underneath is just you? Are you ready for that? Because the way things are going, that moment's coming a lot sooner than you think. And when it does, I hope you're ready to face it. I hope you're ready to finally show the world who you really are, without all the theatrics. Because at the end of the day, that's all people really want. They want the truth. They want authenticity. And you, Bella, you've been running from that for far too long. But here's the thing, you can't run forever. At some point, you've got to face the music. You've got to confront the reality that this act you've built up around yourself isn't sustainable. And when that moment comes, when the internet finally gets tired of the wolf gimmick and moves on, what are you going to do? I hope you've got an answer to that question, Bella, because the way things are going, you're going to need it sooner than later. And if you don't, well, let's just say that's not going to be a fun place to be. So yeah, consider this your wake-up call. The internet's watching, and right now, they're not impressed. You've got a chance to turn this around, to show people that there's more to you than just the wolf act. But that's only going to happen if you're willing to let go of the persona and be real. And if you're not, well, you can keep doing what you're doing, but don't be surprised when the hate keeps coming. Don't be surprised when the internet keeps turning on you, when the views start dropping, when the comments get worse. Because that's the path you're on right now, Bella, and it's not a good one. But hey, it's your choice. You can keep feeding the fire, or you can put it out and start fresh. The ball's in your court. Just know that the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to turn this around. And at some point, it might be too late. So what's it going to be, Bella? You ready to drop the act and show the world who you really are? Or are you going to keep digging that hole, hoping that somehow, some way things will get better on their own? Because let me tell you, they won't. Not unless you're willing to make a change. It's not too late, Bella. But the clock's ticking. As the roast continues, PackGod's verbal assault on Bella the Wolf grows even more intricate and devastating. He's not just throwing out random insults, he's weaving together a narrative that highlights everything wrong with her online presence. It's like he's pulling the threads of her image, one by one, and watching it unravel in real time. He starts to break down Bella's content, pointing out how it's often repetitive and uninspired. He mocks the way she tries to appeal to a specific audience but fails to deliver anything of substance. This isn't just about her personality anymore, it's about her entire brand. PackGod makes it clear that Bella's attempts at relevance are falling flat, and he's the one making sure everyone knows it. And then there's the way PackGod goes after Bella's interactions with her fans. He doesn't shy away from calling out how she manipulates her audience, using them for views and engagement while offering nothing in return. This part of the roast is particularly brutal because it exposes the darker side of her content creation, the side that isn't just annoying or cringe-worthy, but actually harmful. PackGod turns the spotlight on Bella's exploitation of her fanbase, and it's a turning point in the roast. This isn't just about funny insults anymore, it's about holding Bella accountable for the way she's been treating her community. The crowd, both online and in whatever virtual space this roast is taking place, is eating it up. You can almost hear the collective reactions, the laughter, the gasps, the "did he really just say that?" moments. PackGod's mastery of timing and delivery keeps everyone on the edge of their seats. Every pause, every shift in tone is deliberate, adding weight to each punchline. The roast isn't just about the words, it's about how PackGod controls the entire atmosphere, making sure Bella feels the pressure from every angle. But what really sets this roast apart is the way PackGod taps into the underlying resentment that many people feel towards Bella. He's not just roasting her for the sake of entertainment, he's channeling the frustrations of her critics, giving voice to all the things that people have been thinking, but haven't had the platform to say. It's like he's representing the collective voice of the internet, delivering the takedown that so many people have been waiting for. He starts to dive into the controversies that have surrounded Bella the Wolf, those moments where she's crossed lines or sparked outrage among the community. PackGod doesn't just brush over these incidents, he leans into them, dissecting her behavior and pointing out the patterns. He highlights how Bella has repeatedly doubled down on her mistakes, refusing to acknowledge any wrongdoing or take responsibility for her actions. And the more he digs, the clearer it becomes that this roast isn't just about making jokes, it's about exposing the truth. Bella's attempts to defend herself are weak at best. Every time she tries to fire back, PackGod is ready with another comeback, another perfectly timed retort that leaves her scrambling for words. It's almost painful to watch her struggle, knowing that no matter what she says, PackGod is already 10 steps ahead. He's playing a game that she simply can't win, and the more she tries to fight back, the worse it gets for her. At this point, PackGod has the audience completely hooked. They're hanging on to every word, waiting to see how he's going to finish Bella off. And PackGod knows this, he can feel the energy, the anticipation building as he prepares for the final blow. He's been leading up to this moment, carefully crafting his roast so that when he delivers the last line, it hits with maximum impact. And when it finally comes, it's devastating. PackGod delivers the final punch with the precision of a seasoned fighter, knocking Bella's entire online persona to the ground. There's no coming back from this. Bella the Wolf, once one of the most hated creators on YouTube, has just been completely destroyed by PackGod in front of everyone. The silence that follows is deafening. Bella is left standing in the wreckage of her online image, while PackGod stands victorious, having delivered one of the most brutal roasts the internet has ever seen. The chat is exploding with reactions, people are losing their minds over what they've just witnessed. It's the kind of moment that will be talked about for days, weeks, maybe even longer. PackGod's takedown of Bella the Wolf isn't just another roast, it's a statement. It's a reminder of what can happen when someone builds their entire persona on a shaky foundation. PackGod didn't just roast Bella for fun, he exposed her for who she really is, and in doing so, he gave the internet the reckoning it had been waiting for. Bella might still be around after this, but she'll never be the same. This roast has changed the game. PackGod didn't just destroy Bella the Wolf, he shifted the balance of power in the online world. And for everyone who watched, it was clear there's no coming back from this.